telling all flock members, if you want to become truly elite, for just $1 a month, you too can become an elite bad bird. Check out my Patreon account. Link is in the description.
Hello there, my flock. The Badraven here again. We're going right on with our Friday the 13th marathon with, you guessed it, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. You may know this movie as Jason Becomes a Zombie. Alright, this is Part 6 in the series, and this is when I start thinking about it starts getting a little away from reality. Well, because how could it be even reality? He's been killed so many times. He comes back. So what are you saying, Badraven? That Friday the 13th is based in reality? Not exactly that, but I'm just saying it really starts to jump the shark. Not that I didn't like this movie. I really liked this movie back in the day. It came out in 1986. And I remember this movie fondly because me and my nephew had jumped into my car and we were going down to the Corbin Cinema back then, which is not the new one, of course, the old one. And we were going to go watch this movie, and I backed up into my future brother-in-law's car, Duran Lundy, who later on married my sister, Chris. I was so excited about going, I just jumped in the car, me and my nephew, and I didn't look back, and he had just painted his brand new car, and I ran right into it. So I was kind of all distraught. I really wanted to go watch the movie, but I felt so bad that I damaged his brand new paint job on his car. So he was a great guy that he is. He said, don't worry about it, Steve. I'll fix it again. Don't worry about it. Go watch your movie. So I went to the movie with that heavy heart that I'd kind of put a lot of work on him after that. But thanks to Rand for all. You really did good about not making me feel bad. He was always that kind of guy. And I love that about you. Alright, getting into the movie. This movie, I'll give you the synopsis and then we'll try to jump into it. Tommy Jarvis goes to the graveyard to get rid of Jason Voorhees' body once and for all, but inadvertently brings him back to life instead. The newly revived killer once again seeks revenge, and Tommy may be the only one who can defeat him. The very one that brought him back to life has to defeat him. Left him alone, no movie. But you can't have that. This is Jason. I understand what he did. The reason they brought Jason back, after Part 5, which I did a review just before this, they had gone on a tangent where Tommy was going to lose his mind, and he had just put the mask on in Part 5, jumped out in front of it, behind the worker at that was at the house, the halfway house he lived at, and he had his on, and he had the Roy mask on with the blue chevron that he was like ready to kill. When the movie Part 5 didn't make the money it should have, people were clamoring for Jason to come back. We want Jason back. We don't want no Roy or no Tommy to take over for Jason, which I thought would have been great if Tommy would have went on to become Jason. But instead, we start at the beginning of this movie, and Tommy's barreling down the road in an old pickup truck with Horshack. You know Horshack from Welcome Back Carter back in the day, back in the 70s? Well, a lot of you kids don't, but I never really watched the show much, but I did know Horshack was on there. It was kind of weird that Horshack's in a mental institution with Tommy, and they're breaking out because Tommy has this idea that he wants to get rid of Jason once and for all. Even though Jason's been dead for however many years, and he has not been seen from, so they're going to dig him back up and then get rid of his body. It's Friday the 13th. What can I say? They get to the place. Tommy digs, and him and Horshack dig down to the grave, and they clean it off good, and they open it up, and there lays Jason's maggot-ridden body. His one eye still left in his head, but in his clothes, of course. And maggots all over his mask and everything. And Tommy gets all these feelings that he's looking back at Jason, and he starts hearing die when he was young, when he was a Corey Feldman Tommy, and he was like going off on Jason. So he gets so crazy, he quits and grabs a metal iron from the gate around the cemetery and starts jabbing this iron stake through Jason's body several different times, throwing maggots left and right. Talking about total destruction of this body that's already deteriorated. He leaves the big iron stake right through his heart, like where the heart would have been if it wasn't deteriorated. But it's stuck in there anyway. He goes back to get the gas because he's going to burn his body. I guess the ashes, he thinks, well, if he turns them into ashes, he can't really go around holding up a machete. When you've got ashes, you can't kill people with a machete. It's just not possible. Let alone that you've been dead for so many years and you're trying to kill people. But anyway, this is the Friday that I like. He goes back to get the gasoline, and all of a sudden there's like a storm the whole time. In a scary movie, you gotta have the storm going in the background. You gotta have lightning crashes and everything. So he goes back to put the gas on the deteriorating body, and the lightning bolt strikes the metal pole right on the tip and like those sparks right into Jason's body. And then it does it twice. It strikes him twice and like totally annihilates the area. So Tommy gets up and he grabs the stake and starts pulling back out of Jason's body. And by the time Jason's one eye opens up and then the maggots are all around on him, and he's like looking at him do that, and Tommy is oblivious to his eye, I guess, because he can't see it. I don't know. But he pulls the stake out, and when he goes back to go get the gas, or starts to reach over, zombie Jason jumps up and grabs him, and he's trying to pull him into the thing, and Tommy kicks him in the face. And see, Jason doesn't have his mask then. I didn't kind of mention when they were barreling down the road, Horseshack and Tommy, Horseshack had a new mask. And why he was taking it there, it's not the Roy mask, because they don't have the blue chevron. It's a totally different mask. I don't know if they're trying to make us think it was the same mask from Part 5, but anyway, it's a different mask. I like the mask, though, that they're using this. I like how big it is on the face. Tommy kicks Jason back into the grave. Well, he runs over and Jason gets out of the grave, and all of a sudden here comes Horseshack with a shovel and busts it over Jason's head. Turns around, rips Horseshack's heart right out of his body. His hand goes plumb through his body, back of his chest, kills Horseshack. He's gone. He's no more Welcome Back Carter anymore with that guy. He is out for the count. By then, Tommy's throwing gas all over Jason, and Jason is all soaked in gas. About that time, Tommy's trying to light a match. Like in the movies, you're trying to light the match up, and you're just not having no chances of lighting. All of a sudden, it lights up the match. And then about the time he starts to put it on Jason, they light the gasoline. It rains and puts it out. Basically, all Tommy can do is run. So he takes off. Jason finds the mask, conveniently laying down there where he killed Horseshack, and puts it on, turns around, and he is Jason the Man Voorhees. Cool thing. He's back in the game. That's what they wanted for the whole genre, to go back to Jason. So we're here. The lake is not Camp Crystal Lake anymore. It's Camp Forest Green. Because, some people don't want to go to a camp that's still named after the lake of the murderer that's come and killed people several times. They, some reason, don't like to send their kids there. So they figure, hey, we'll change the name. People won't even know. They're like, where are we going to send the kid? Well, we would send it to Camp Crystal Lake, but, that's where Jason was killing all them kids. Well, I think there's another one called Forest Green. Okay, we'll send it there. It's in the exact same spot, but hey, it's not Camp Crystal Lake, so it's safe to send your child there because the name's different. Jason would probably look on a map and say, I can't kill nobody there. That's not Camp Crystal Lake anymore. Daggone it, I was wanting to kill some people. But now it's Forest Green, so I guess I'll have to go stay in my grave. I don't know. So Jason decides, they think that Jason won't know. Ooh, Jason with this Forest Green stuff. But, Jason's not really, zombie Jason, too. He's like, oh, he just wants to kill people. At least he doesn't try to eat their brains. So, one good thing. He just kills them. It's gone. Let's get into who directed this movie and who's in it. directed by Tom McLaughlin, and he's more like a. And I've seen in interviews that he's more like a goth director. And you kind of got that goth feeling in some of the scenes. He does a very good job with this one. I think he leans more into the humor, and that's where I started winking at the camera that we know what's going on. We know you're here watching a movie. It's a little old, and I know they had to go somewhere with that though because everything had gotten so dark and heavy from the first ones. That's where he went, but needless to say, that was part of it. All right, we got Tommy is played by Theon Matthews. This is not the same Tommy from part 5. You got Jennifer Cook as Megan, which is the daughter of the sheriff in Forest Green. And it seems like I've seen her on some back in the day on some soap operas, but she does a very good job. You got David Kagan as Sheriff Garris, Carrie Noonan as Paula, Renee Jones as Sissy, Tom Ridley as Court, C.J. Graham is Jason in this. Now, a little tidbit on that: C.J. Graham wasn't the Jason at the beginning of filming of this. It was Dan Bradley. They had got the job. C.J. Graham had tried to get the part, and he was turned down. They gave it to Dan Bradley. Dan Bradley they shot all the daytime scenes. If you notice in the daytime scenes, especially in the paint gun parts, when he's walking around, his body build is totally different than C.J. Graham's. And when they did show the dailies to the producer, he didn't like the build of Dan Bradley as Jason, so they called C.J. Graham back in, and he became Jason from then on. So that's where you get the two Jasons in this. But C.J. Graham did the other part. And let's see, we got Darcy DeMoss as Nikki, and we'll leave it at that. The other ones are, characters. I can't go into every character in this one. Like I said, it was geared more humorous, and it's another week at the camera. That's what I didn't care for as much. This was filmed in Covington, Georgia. The great sites for this. I'd like to go down there sometime and see if I can find some of the shooting sites and maybe do a video of that. That would be kind of cool. All right, you have Tommy trying to go back into town and tell the sheriff, "Oh, by the way, I kind of electrified Jason. He was dead. There was nothing going on with him, and I decided to dig him completely up out of his grave and have him electrocuted back to life. But I want to come here to you, Sheriff, and tell you that he's back alive. I brought him back to life. I didn't mean to. I was going to burn his body. But you need to watch out for him because he may be going around killing people at the new camp if he gets all the directions right." So, of course, the sheriff thinks he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because of, the earlier murders and everything. So they put him in jail, and that, you're a whack job. So they put him in jail. Of course, when you put a man in jail, the daughter of the sheriff goes crazy in love with it. Because what woman, or what girl, I guess she's supposed to be a teenager that looks 30, what girl doesn't want to see a psycho guy that killed Jason? Why does that make him not more attractive to her? He's the bad boy. He's the guy that can be nutso and kill serial killers, so every girl wants you. So the sheriff's girl is no exception. She thinks, "Hey, I got me a dude over there, and I don't care what kind of laws I got to break because my dad's the sheriff, so we're going to bust his hind end out of here, and we're going to listen to his story about Jason." Anyway, they go from there. Jason is out causing all kinds of havoc. He's loose now. He's got his mask. He's killing people on paint gun trips. He's slicing their heads off with one slice. He cuts 3 people's heads off with one machete slice. Now that takes a lot of skill. It's got a lot of strength for being a zombie. I guess when you get electrified, you grow more muscle and less maggots. The whole movie is basically Tommy trying to correct the first thing he made, the mistakes of getting Jason out of the grave and bringing him back to life, is to put him back in the lake, preferably underwater with a chain around his neck with a rock, so he's back where he belongs. He's back in camp, back in Crystal Lake, even though it's full screen, because they threw the sign at the end of the movie. You see the sign down the bottom of the lake, Crystal Lake, so he can see it when he's floating there. That it's down there. Maybe he's okay. I'm back home. Why do I need to kill anybody? I'm back in my own element. I'm under the water. I can, grab people if they come out like Jaws or something, like kill a few people, campers, if they want to go swimming out here. I don't know. Anyway, so Tommy has to get out, broken out of jail, so he has to flirt with the daughter of the sheriff, which she does. She totally goes against everything her dad said, like don't break prisoners out, don't fall in love with them. So she breaks him out. They go down the road in her big Trans Am, I think. I think it's a Trans Am. Pretty sure. It had some great humor spots with that, where he shoved his head down in her crotch and said, "Watch out for this hairy turn." Very, very, very humorous. They had some great scenes with one of the camp counselors where they're out in a RV and Jason comes up on it and it's a rockin', of course, I guess from playing music. And Jason turns his head like a dog, like, what's going on in that place? Kind of cute. They had the great song by the man behind the mask by Alice Cooper. That was cool. I like that part of it. Even though I'm making kind of fun of the movie, it's kind of a comedy, 50-50. Actually, Camp Forest Green had children. They showed a bus show up, and counselors were there, and the kids got there, and they actually did some training of the kids. They took them out on some hikes. It was just cool to see the camp actually get used. You always see the one, they never make it there before Jason starts slaughtering. So I guess being brought back to life later on after everybody kind of got there was kind of a neat thing, because now the kids can die. But that just bring a smile to your face when you can just say, now Jason can actually kill some kids. But these are little bitty kids, not the teenagers you've seen in the first Friday the 13th. These are like little kids that did nothing wrong, didn't do all the drugs or anything like that, sexual stuff. These are little children, but Jason doesn't kill them, because Jason's a kind of gentler Jason. He only kills the counselors, because the counselors are the ones that are the bad people. They're the ones running around doing all this stuff, running around with criminals. Jason has to kill them. So he goes to the camp, he makes it there, he's got good GPS. He knows how to get to the name, even though it's wrong on the GPS. He knows how to get there. So he gets back there and he kills. Of course, he kicks one of the counselors' head and turns it around like like a chicken he twists her head off and throws it in the car, for later, I guess. And then he kills. He kills so many people. I mean, like 16 kills in this thing. He's like killing the grave guy with his own bottle that he was getting drunk on. He kills a couple out there doing unthinkable things in the forest with a spear, gets both of them on a moped. Who's in a moped in the middle of the forest? I don't know. Why would you take a moped to the forest anyway to have sex? Girls, if you see a guy and he wants to take you to the forest to do this, and he's on a moped, don't go with him. Find you a better guy. Find a guy that's got a car or something. You know what I'm saying? A car, that's the best way to go. Then you won't be in a... get him to do other things. I mean, there's other things out there. You can do better than that. You get yourself killed. And the director's wife was in this, and she's in a part where they're in the little Herbie bug, and they're going in through the woods, and she's with the guy from Ghost. The movie Ghost has got the guy that kills Patrick Swayze. Well, he's in it too, and they're supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend. They come upon Jason, and she's like, "I don't know about you, but when I see a guy in a mask, I think we should get out of here." She's a very smart woman. She starts to back up and gets stuck, so they said, "Oh, we can't. We got to go through it. We got to go through him. Get out of the way." She zooms up on him, and he doesn't move, so she's scared. She just stops, starts beeping his horn, and the guy gets out, and he's got a gun. The ghost guy from the movie Ghost, and he gets the gun toward Jason and says, "You better get out of the way, or I'm going to shoot you with this, and you will be in a lot of pain." Of course, Jason uses him like a shish kebab, throws him over his head. The girl beeps the horn or something, and Jason slams his big pitchfork or whatever it is, metal rod through the window. And then when they actually filmed that, you can see how the way when it comes through there, she ducks, and the metal rod actually barely misses impaling her in the car. True, this is true. In the filming, she almost got impaled by that. Luckily, she moved just enough with it missed her. That was a tidbit. But anyway, she gets out of the car. She gets slammed in the mud. Gets the rod through her face. And of course, her American Express is still floating there because what's in your wallet? You know what I'm saying? It's there. It's funny. It's comedy. It's all through the movie. They got it. Funny all through that. Anyway, let's get back to the end of the movie. Jason's going out through there. He's killing the counselors, the daughter of the sheriff, and Tommy gets in there and said, trying to lead Jason down to the boat dock. He's got a big rock in a boat, and he's got gasoline, and he's going to put him down in the lake water. So he's calling him every bad name he can think. Jason sees him and says, well, I can squeeze her head, but I can go down there because he's calling me names, and I'm not going to be bullied. We live in a society now that you don't bully people. So Jason runs down to the water. Well, I like the way he just walks right into the water just like the Terminator. And he just walks down through the water until you can't see him. He's like under the water. And then he's like Jaws. He's like Jaws is somewhere. Jason's white mask comes up like a fin, you know what I'm saying? And he gets out there. Of course, you know, you're always looking over the wrong side of the boat. Tommy is like in the boat, and Jason jumps up like the great white shark in Jaws, like he grabs Quinn in Jaws, but he grabs Tommy. And he's like fighting over, and then Jason and Tommy's like trying to go gas on him and all kinds of stuff. Then Jason just jumps up the second time and just crashes the whole boat, and the rock and everything falls down. And then Tommy puts the necklace of chain on his neck, and it kind of freezes Jason in one spot. He's just like, oh my God, where am I? This is old time feeling here. I went through this before. I don't want to be drowned again, even though I'm a zombie. So Jason reaches out and grabs Tommy's foot and runs over and just kind of shakes him, you know, until he thinks he's dead. And then his girlfriend comes out there, and she gets sucked in by Jason. He's trying to grab her foot, but she turns on the motorboat and like, you know, motorboats his throat. So, you know, Jason has to die, even though he's not even alive. You think he's dead, of course. They get away. Tommy and the girl get away. And, of course, they show the Jason floating under the water. And he like, you know, zoom in on his mask, and there he is. His one eye opens back up, like there's no maggots. But he opens back up, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm here. I'm ready for a sequel. Don't worry about it. I'll be back. I'm just gonna chill for a while, soak up some water, you know, get hydrated back. I've been in the grave for how many years, so I'm gonna be back for this part 7. So that's how it ends. I like this movie. It wasn't what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be Tommy. I wish they would have kept with the Tommy trend, kept the blue chevrons, called it Tommy. I don't know. They could have still used Jason's name, but we'd all known it was Tommy. But they went back to the well, and then they had a lot of humor. So that's still a likable movie. I like C.J. Graham as Jason. I liked the Tommy character. I liked the story. It was, you know, a good little story. More slicker. This film looked more slicker than most of the other movies. I don't know, just the filming style. It just felt more studio-like, I guess, to me. But I still liked it. But this was the beginning of it finally going crazy and, you know, kind of jumping the shark eventually, like in part 7 and on. But still a good movie. Tell me what you think. Did you like the comedic turn of Jason? What was your favorite kill? What did you like best? What was the funniest part of the movie you liked? What was the scariest? Just let me know. I'd like to know this kind of stuff because I loved this stuff when I was a kid, and I love it now. So I'm going to wrap up this review and say, I want you to know that the Badraven is your friend, and I always come back watching videos here. We always want to give you some great reviews. We appreciate it. And check out the Patreon again. Give the Badraven a chance. Go check it out. It's just $1 a month. We're not asking for a lot of money. $1 a month, and I'll make you an elite bad birds. And I'll send you a bracelet that says "Join the Flock." Watch Badraven on it, and I will put your name at the end of every video. Just try to tell your friends, share the video. We would really appreciate it here. We thank you for watching, and we always want you to know we appreciate you. And we're going to talk to you later. And goodbye.